We're going to be working on React Native today, and it's a series that I'm just going to start. This is the first video. I'm going to walk you through how to create React Uber Hub. So we're going to start this series by creating just the first screen page of this application. And in this video, we're going to learn about how to set up React Native application using Expo CLI. We're going to set up the first home screen. Also, we're going to touch React navigation and Google Play autocomplete. We're going to do those are the things we're going to do in this video. And this is going to be a series of many videos, so I'm not going to put all the application build in one video, just so you don't get tired of watching a long video. So I'm going to segment it. So this is the first video. So and I hope you enjoy it. So first and foremost, let's go to React. We go to React. React. Also, we're going to be using Redux store in this application. Also, we're going to implement Redux, and you're going to see how everything is going to work. We're going to marry together, and we're going to use Tailwind Css with a little bit of style component like styling. So we get here. So what I basically always do when I go to React Native, I prefer to use the Expo CLI Quick Start because for just preference sake, it's easier. That way, I have all the two native platforms on the same application on the same platform. I don't have to create two platforms and marry them to, and create two platforms for a particular application. All I need to do is just to create one application, and it runs on two platforms. Okay, that is why I prefer to use Expo CLI Quick Start. So the first thing you need to do, if you haven't installed Expo CLI on your application in your machine before, just run this in your terminal or in your terminal. And also, or if you use Yarn, you can run Yarn Expo. So when you're done running this code, then you can use Expo init and your project name here, and that way you start. So once you init that, when you initialize that command, it runs, it takes its course, and it creates a project file for you. So you can now set it to your project file and use Yarn start or npm start or Expo start to open your application. And when you open the application, what you're going to be having is this on the right side. Is this going to open in this simulator format, and you're going to have this. So when you first say Yarn start or Expo start or whatever start it you use, or that command you use, it's going to show you something like this. You know what? Let me clean this up. So let's say, take for instance, you already built your application from Expo init and application name. So it gives you something like this. So when you open this page, when you open your app.ds, just go to your terminal, run this, and let me come out of this. I'm already working on this project already, so let me just clear. So this is what it's going to have, basic like this, okay? Basic like this. For this page to load like this, so you're going to run, is either you run Expo starts, or you run Yarn starts, or you run npm. It depends on the package you're using. For this project, is Expo start you should use, and if you want to use Yarn or npm, you're free to do that. So when you click enter, it launches this page for you, and all you need to do is to say run on iOS emulator, or you run on Android simulator, or run on Android emulator. But I'm going to use iOS simulator today. So it will take its course, it runs, and I think it's done because now you see the application. If I reload this page, you see it's done. So now if I change anything here, let's say I change this, I add 3 dots to it, and I save. You're going to see the 3 dots now. See, you see, so it's connected. So the next thing we need to do now, we need to build this interface. So the first thing I'm going to be doing here today is to create my first screen. So I want to create Uber, all right? So I need the Uber logo, and I need 2 components on the UI, just so that you click Uber Ride and Uber Eats. So what I'm going to do now is I'm not going to be using style sheets today, so I'm going to take this out. I'm going to be using Tailwind Css, like I said. So I'm going to take this out. So we're going to have something like this. Okay, it's breaking, but now we need to install Tailwind Css. So this is what you do. Go to your browser and Google, and I already opened the 2 pages here. So either if you go to this URL and you check this page, either you install like this, you install this package name like this, Tailwind React Native class name. You return like, or you do this one, just say Tailwind space rn, npm Tailwind space rn, or yarn space. It depends on how what the package you use, like I said. But this one, the difference is that the way you write it, write the code. See, you say Tailwind all in full, and you open bracket, and you put in your codes, your styles there. But this one is different. This one uses backtick. Okay, it uses backtick, and you say TW just and with the backtick. But I'm going to be using this one today, not the other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install Tailwind in my application, and I'm going to open a new terminal, and I'm going to say yarn add, paste it. I already run this in my application, so I don't have to run it again. So what I'm going to do now, it doesn't really hurt the fly. So let me just run it. So now that one is taking its course, so what I need to do now is I want to style this page. So to style this page, what I'm going to have, but to start with, I want to create my application this way. I want to have in my root folder or in my root file, I want to have two components that I can navigate through. So what I'm going to do first and foremost is to create my navigation logic configuration. So the first thing I need to do is to install something called two things: navigation container from React Navigation Native and React Navigation Stack. So I'm going to bring these two here. These two. So I already run this application. All you need to do is to open your terminal and you copy this one, copy this part like this. You copy like this, and you say yarn add, and you paste. But I'm not going to run this again. You can run these two concurrently like this. So when you run this, it's going to install those packages for you. But I'm not doing that. I'm not doing all those right now because I already did the installation in this project, so I don't have to repeat myself again. I think I'll be needing React Native gesture handler. I'm going to be needing this one also, and I'm going to be needing. I think I'm going to be needing this one also. Save area. I'm going to be needing this one also. So these are the packages I'm going to install. So you have to install this. How you to install it? Just copy the endpoint. This endpoint. Just copy. Say yarn add and run this course in your project in your terminal. Also this one yarn add to run this one. So I already run all these packages. So I don't need to run them again. It's going to be like I'm repeating myself. So I'm good to go now. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap my application now with this. So look at it. I'm going to write this navigation some container which already imported. So I'm going to write it this way. So now I can have this inside of this place. So when I save, nothing breaks, right? So the next thing I need to bring in my save area provider, which is this one. I wrap like this. So I can cut this out. I paste it here, but hold on. Do I need something else again? Yes, I need something called Stack Navigator. So since I already have my stack here, right? All I need to do is to create a stack, a constant name called stack. We start with capital like this. And I'm going to say create this one. And that's all I need to do there. So here I can have stack. I can have stack dot navigator. So it's like this. So inside of it, I will now have stats.screen. So inside of stack, we have something called screen. So that one is self-enclosed. So that is where I can now have my option, name, and component. So the option is going to be, the reason I'm having option here is because I don't want it, I want to take out a default behavior from this stack. So I'm going to write it this way. So after that, I have name. What is the name of this component? It's going to be let's say home. The name is going to be home. or we can say home screen. Let's just call it home screen. And what else again do we need to add? Components. So the component name will be what? The component name will be what? Home screen. So if we save, it's going to break because it's going to say we don't have home screen. So let's create home screen. So we're going to create we're going to create a folder called screens rather. And inside of that folder, we're going to create a file called home screen.js. I'm going to rnfes or fes. So which is home screen. So we're going to call this home screen now. Home screen. So we save that, and if we come here and we say this, we import the home screen here. And if we save now, we should have something. So they couldn't find a component, the component. So the reason why I think it's breaking is because it's supposed to be component, not component. Sorry, that's just the error we have there. So now it's working. See, you can see home screen here, right? But let's go to our home screen and let's add something called status bar here. Let's add status bar here. Style, and the style is going to be, let's say, dark. The reason is because so that we can have status bar is now import. So we import our status bar from React Native. Sorry, from Expo status bar. Sorry, not React Native. So you can see that it's changing to black now. Before it was dark. If I take that out, you see what I'm trying to say now? See, it's white. So we don't want that the behavior because our screen is white. So now that we have that, right? Home screen is this. So now let's do something. We can actually create another screen because we're going to be having two screens. Remember. And the first screen is going to be home screen, and the second screen is going to be map screen. Map screen is where we're going to have all the logic of mapping and everything, in the application. So we can do this like this. So he's going to flare up because we haven't created that yet. So go to screen, and we create another file called mapscreen.js, and we say rnfes, and we call this map screen. We call it map screen, and we save it. So now, if we save this one out, let's import that before we save. So if we import that map screen, so we can save now and we're good. So now let's do something. Let's say we are in the home screen, right? Which is the default screen. In the home screen, let's say we have we click, we say on. So let's tile this page so that we can bring. Where's my Tailwind CSS? So I'm supposed to import Tailwind here. So let me get Tailwind CSS from Tailwind React Native class name. So I'm going to have this. No, not here. I don't need it here. I need it here. So there's a behavior I want to show you. So let's style this now, and let's say style, and I said TW. And I said items center. If I save, you see it's in the center, but we can't say that. So let's say justify. Let's say justify, and we say center. Okay. Justify center. It's supposed to come to center, but we're not seeing it. So let's take this item center out. But justify center is not working, so we're going to say let's say margin top. Let's say we have 100. Okay, 100 is not allowed. Let's say 60. So we have it there now. This is what I just want to do. So if I have something here, if I say on press, right, and I create a function, and I create I pass it a function, and I say do this navigation. I just want to show you how we move from one screen to another. Navigation.navigate, and we say to map screen. you see what is going to happen now. So let's create something here. Let's say const navigation equals to use navigation. Nothing is passed, it's being passed in. So if we save now and we import to use navigation from React navigation. Okay, let's turn this to touchable opacity, and let's import that from React Native. You see, it goes to map screen, right? You click it, you see it goes, but that's not what we want to do today. So I just want to show you how you can, So now what we need to do, we need to build our home screen. So our home screen is going to have the image, it's going to have the image button. So I'm going to take all this out. Sorry, I just wanted to explain something to you. That was why I did all those logic, all those explanation for you. So the first thing I need to do is I need to have a status bar so that my status bar is not showing white. Status bar, and I say style is self-enclosed, and I says the style, I need it to be, I'm not styling it, I'm just giving it a dark shade color. That's all I need. So let me bring this back. So this is home screen now. So now what do I need here? I need to create a view, and inside of this view I'll have another view, and I'll have another image from React Native. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. So the image is going to have a source, and my source is going to be URI. The URI is going to be URI for Uber image, which I'm going to copy from another place, and I'm going to paste it here. So if I save now, we are not going to save because we need to style it. So I'm going to lift up a style from here, from a page that I already solved these things. I already saved these things, so I don't have to keep doing the stress again. You see, so I added width of 80, height of 80, resize the mode, margin top, my margin left. So I have this, which is perfect. So the next thing I need to do now is to create the two components, which is ride and food. We have Uber Eats and Uber Ride. So we're going to do that now. But that, I'm going to create that one in this way. I'm going to create it this way. After my image, I'm going to pop this in. But now I've not created this nav option, so I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to create it inside of a folder called component. I'm going to create a component folder. And inside of that component folder, I'm going to have that file being created. So the file is going to be navoption.js. I'm going to say rnfes. So this is the nav option. So the nav option is going to have something. What do I need to have? I need to have a data that I'm going to map through to display. So I'm going to copy something. I'm going to copy the data from the file that I already have saved already. Like I already did all these things, so I don't have to waste too much time on writing all these codes out. So I'm going to now, what do I need to do now from here? I need to render this out in a flat list. So I'm going to create a flat list here. So I'm going to have flat list. So I'm going to have a flat list and it's self-enclosed, and it's going to have there are parameters that it's going to have. No, I don't want that behavior because I'm going to have a data. It's going to have an attribute called data, and the data is going to be data. It's going to be data because that's the data we have up there. The data that we declared up there. We're going to have data, and the next thing we're going to have is we're going to have a key extractor. So the key extractor, right, is going to take in it's going to take in the function. The function is going to take in the item that each item from that data, and we need to return just the item.id. So you return item.id. So we have a rendered item. We have a rendered item, right? And the rendered item will take also a function. So what is happening now? We are taking a function and we destructure the item, and we say the item now, what are you going to return to us an element? So the first element is going to be touchable opacity. We're going to wrap it in the touchable opacity. That's what we want to use. And it's going to have a view inside of it. And inside of that view, we're going to have an image. And it's self-enclosed image. So the image now is going to have this style. So I'm just going to copy the image now. I'm going to copy the styles from the image and also the source from the image. So I'm going to paste it here. So what I'm saying is that this is the style of the image, and the image source is the image from here, from each of this item. So we have it here. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to also return. We are going to return the image title, the item title rather, item title. So this. So if we save this now, we should have something. But now we don't even have it here. We don't have this saved yet. So if we do this, and we'll save it now, see what we're gonna get. So it's saying flat list. So let's import this flat list. Image can find image. So image, where is image? Image, comma, image. We save. Can't find TW. That's we can't find Tailwind CSS. So we copy Tailwind CSS like this, and we'll paste it here, and we'll save. And it's saying configure get better callback touchable opacity. We have this is T, capital T. So we have to copy it and paste it here. So we have this. This is beautiful. So now we have the flat list. So let's style the touchable opacity. So I'm going to copy the style from here. I have the style already, so I'm going to copy the style. I'm going to paste the style here inside of the touchable opacity, and I should have that. So perfect. The reason why it's stacking on top of each other is because we have to make it horizontal. So if we make it horizontal, it's going to be on the cell, it's going to go on a row, which is perfect. Now we have this perfect view going on, and if we tap now, you see. So now the next thing we need to do is that we need to create the Google Play auto complete, and to create that, all you need to do is to go to your home screen, because that's where we're going to have it. So we're going to import two things. We're going to import our two things. I'm going to show you the two things now. So go to home screen and import these two things. So these two things is going to basically do something. So what we need to do is that we need to run this function. We need to install this package in our application. Just copy this package, go to your application, and go to your terminal and run yarn add. Run yarn add and paste this. So when you run it, that is all you need to do for that part. So that's all you need to do. When you run that part, then that means you've already installed in your application Google Play Auto. So we can use it as an input file now. So this is how we're going to do it. See, all you do, just copy this and create under the nav, after the view that wraps the nav and the image. So create that one, and it's self-enclosed. So if I save now, you see I have it now. See. But now it needs some attributes. There are some attributes that it needs to have. So I'm going to copy the attributes from where I have it saved already, because I'm trying to make this tutorial very fast. I don't want to waste too much of your time, because I don't want to waste too much of time. So if I save now, that is perfect. I need to, if I don't create a style to it, it's not going to work, because it needs a style. It really needs the flex. The flex must be 0 for this to work. So I have to create this. So if I create the style now, copy now. So if I type now, if I type London, It's going to give me all the options of launch. So this is what we call Google Play's autocompletes, you know. So now, but now, how do we even get this API? So you have to open, you have to create an account with Google API with Google API site. Let me just show you the site. This is the site right here. So if you can read this thing, let me go to this page. Let me go to this page. It's someone's page I found that I read through and I was able to understand. Let me just back up. Okay, yeah, this is the page. If you can go to this URL, study what is being done here, how this guy created, how you can actually set up Google Play or Google Play's autocomplete and do the things you need. But you need an account. So when you go to this console, let me just show you. Let me just show you. When you go to this console, where is it? There's a link here to set up this tip. Go here. So you have to create a billing account. So when you create a billing account, after you create a billing account and you have everything set up in your billing account, I don't have to create any one because I already have one. So you go to API and services. So when you go to API and services, go to credentials. So you see everything, your credentials, you see there. But since I don't have any accounts yet here, so we are not seeing anything. So when you go to library, you can have all the APIs. So you install this, enable this map SDK for Android, enable that one, enable map SDK for iOS, enable place API, enable distant matrix API. This is distant matrix API. Distance matrix API. Enable that one, and also enable. Let me check which one you need to enable again. Also enable. Hold on. Let me just carefully look through. I think that is just about it. I think those are the ones you need to enable. You enable distant metrics API. You enable places API. You enable SDK for iOS, SDK for Android. So when you are done with that enablement, so it will when you select a project here. So now I don't have a project here. So when you select a project. So you can go to that project. So when you go to this part to generate, you need to generate in your credentials. You need to now because I don't have any credentials. That's why this is showing. I can also see. Can I show you? I don't want to show you my own so that you don't see my. I don't want you to see. I don't want to. So you can create a project. I don't want to show. Create a project here. So I don't want to show my API actually. I don't want to show that, but it's pretty much easy. If you can follow the direction from this blog, you'll be able to understand how to set it up. It's not that difficult to set up. But maybe I should just show you my own. Let me see if I can do it. So just a minute, please. Let me take this page somewhere else so I can do that. So if I'm going to, let me say I log into this account now. Let me log in my own account. So I'm logging in right now. So putting in my email address, and I click enter, and it asks for my password, and I put in my password. So if I bring this here now, so this is it. This is my own account. This is the project I have in this account now. So now if I go to my library, so that is where I can search for all those things I ask you to enable. So if I go to my credential, okay, that is where you have your API. See, this is my own API. It's my own API. So when you click your API, you will see the list of the API of the things that your API is allowing to have access to it. So that is what you need to do. So that's why I say your credential. That one the other time when I was showing you credential, but you can actually when you create credential, you say create API. When you click on this, say you generate. So you see an API. So when you create that API, you will see the API pop up here, so you can use it. So basically, that is just what I'm trying to say. That's how to set it up. So when you're done with that, so you create an M file in your application, in the end file, you now save your API key there. So you use this key value pair, use this key as this is the key. You set this key, you now say equals to a variable file. I don't want to show you, if I show you my end file, you're going to see my API. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this data, this page, over to somewhere else, and I'm going to open my end file so that I can show you how it works. So I'm going to do it like this. I cut out my end file, my API key, and I bring this back. So this is it. This is how you create it. So you now have to paste everything. You paste whatever you're getting back, your API key you're getting back, you paste it here. That is all you need to do. So now I'm going to bring back my API key. So now we can continue our project. Continue with our project. So I hope I was able to explain that. So that is what you need to query this API call. So that way you get all this. So when we get this data back, something happens. What happens here? When we submit it, there's a function. I'm going to create a function and I'm going to lift this thing up. I don't really want to spend too much time on this because I don't want to have a long video. So this is it. So you create an onPress function, right? You say it takes in two data. One is the data and the other one is data details. So now before we even do this, let's do something. Let's call this out and let's say console log data. That's what we want now. Console log data. So if you check our terminal, let's check where we are running our application here. So if we check, let's say we pick this one now. See, the data is returning back to us. So this is the data we're going to use. Send some of this part of this data to our Redux store to use. Now we need to set up our Redux store. So here, let's create a store folder. And instead of the store folder, we create a file. It's called store.js. So this is it. So let's also create another folder called, we call the folder slice. We call it slice. That's where we're going to have our Redux store set up. And we say we have nav slice there. We have nav slice. We have nav slice.js. So now let's set up our Redux store. First and foremost, let's first set up the Redux store first because it contains a lot of things. So the first thing we need to do here is we need to create slides because we are creating a slide. So we need that method. We need the method to create the slides. So we are getting that one from Redux Toolkit. So we need to install Redux Toolkit. So let's go to Redux store. Let's go to Redux Online. Let's check how Redux works. This is Redux. This is Redux, right? React to Redux. But what we need is the toolkit, right? That's just what we need. So we're going to copy this command and we're going to run it in our application. We will run it in our application and we'll run it this way. So also, what do we need anything else? Let's check. So we need, we have that. We don't need Redux, so we are not working with React. We're working with React Native, so we don't need Redux. I pretty much understand that we don't need anything else here again. So what we need to do now is simple. We need to import that. We need to import create slice from that Redux toolkit at Redux toolkit. So once we have that slice imported, so now we need to initialize our state. So initial state is going to be an object. It's going to be an object, okay? Right, it's going to be an object. So the first key value pair is going to be origin, and the origin is going to be set to null. That means the where you are living from, and also the destination. We're going to set up the destination where you are going to. It's also going to be null. So these are the two things we need for now. We're still going to add more state in our application later, but for now this is what we need. So we need to create our slice nav slice. So we're going to say, but in an export, we're exporting it, and we'll say nav export const nav slice equals to create. We are using the method we got from Redux Toolkit now. Create slice, and it's going to create slice, call the function, and we'll pass in this object. Passing this object. So the first thing is name. What is the name? What's the name? Is nav. The second one is initial. So now we can actually write it this way, but because of we are working in ES6, ES6 gives us the ability to write it this way, just one time. So now we create our reducers now. Reducers. So we have reducers are basically is an object that contains all the reducing function. Okay, reducers is just is an object that contains all the reducing functions, and it's being called to actions when a dispatch is made to the Redux store. So if you understand Redux very well, you understand what I'm trying to say. So now we are going to create the first action, which is origin. So it takes in a state. It takes in two parameters. It takes in a state, a previous state, and the current action. Okay, the action that we got back from, we are getting back from the dispatcher, from the UI. So now it's going to say state.origin. That is going to be equal to action.payload. You know, in our action, there's a payload, which is when you call a dispatcher, you pass in the reducing function, and the reducing function takes in a parameter. So the argument that the reducing function takes in is that payload. So from the action, so that is it. So this one is complete. So we're actually going to create another reducing function, which is set destination. And the destination will be V, and we have comma here, and we're good. So after that, we need to export now. So we are exporting all this using function, set origin and destination from, not from initial, from it's going to be from navSlice.actions. That is the reducer is called actions now. So it's going to be from navSlice.actions. So that's where we're getting it from. So that is good. Origin this way. Const. Why is it showing? Oh, sorry. I was wondering why it's showing that squeezely. That is what happened. So now I want to set another exports. Exports. We are exporting those the states now. We are exporting all the states now. So state value selected for the origin. Select origin, and it's going to be a function that takes in a state. That takes in states and returns something to us. So what does it return? It returns states.nav.origin. Okay, we duplicate it and we say this return destination to us. And we have here set destination. So here, for our code not to break, let's correct this by now so that we don't put ourselves, we don't end up in a big mess. So now the last thing we need to do is to export the only default we're going to have here, which is what? The nav slice, because we're going to use this to configure our Redux, our store. So it's coming from reducer. Okay, so we save this. So we come to store. Now what do we need to do in store? We need to bring that that default that we set, that default from nav slice, that export default that we have. So we're going to call it import. Let's give it a name called reducer from it's going to be from where? We are going to our slice and we are going to there, correct? So Now we need to import one more thing again here. We need to import a method called configure, because we are configuring our store here. So configure store. So it's coming from React to Redux toolkits. Okay, it's coming from at Redux toolkits. This is where this is coming from. So now that we have that, so let's create our store. Export const store equals configure store, and we pass in text and an object, and is a reducer that has what we call it nav, and we say is nav reducer. Okay, and this is all we need to do. So we have to go back to our main application now here. And what are we going to be doing here? Because we have to wrap our application with this, and what we need to do here is we need to bring in something called create stack. No. What am I doing? We're bringing in something called provider from React Redux. So we bring in a provider from React Redux here. And we're going to use that provider to wrap our application, and we'll pass in what? We'll pass in our store. Let's just hope that everything we're doing, we don't have any typo errors, nothing of such. So let's bring in store now. So we're going to say import store, because it's not a default this export, so it's going to be like this. Import store from store. Let's check the folder. Where is the folder? Okay. I think yeah, this is what we need to do. We're not going out of the roots folder, so say we want to go and get something we are not needing from my other folder, which we don't want to do. So here we're going to pass in store, and we're going to pass in store like this. So now our application can have access to everything we have in the store. So this is perfect. So now when we click this, we want it to navigate to somewhere. Okay, so when we go to this part, and when we click this part, this is where we click it, right? So when we had on press here, so it's a function. It's going to take an anonymous function that takes navigation dot navigate, and we pass in item dot screen. So what I'm doing basically here is simple. I'm accessing this screen key value here. Okay, and that's why we're storing our screen name there. Okay, so instead of saying passing the screen name directly here, I mean we can also do this because we have two data there, two data. So because if we had the same thing, once we click here, it's going to, and click here, it's going to go to the same direction, and we don't want that behavior. So we'll pass it this way. So now if we save this, and I believe we already have a map screen, which is this one, just normal React Native boilerplate. And when we click on this, it should take us to that page. It's saying cannot find navigation. I understand. So what we need to do is that this navigation, we need to declare it here, and we say const navigation. It will be equal to navigation. Use navigation, and is a function, you call it. So that way it's gonna work now. If you go like this, see, we're going to that now. So now we have that, but we want to pass, when we have this something here, when we click this here, we do something here, we want that information data gotten back from this Google API. We want to store it in our Redux store. So this is what we need to do. Where do we have that? In the home screen. So here we need to call on press. Now we already console logging in, and we don't need to console log here. So what we need to do is to call this patch here. We call this patch here, and we pass in what? Set origin. Okay, set origin, and it's a function, right? Don't forget to not make this yeah. And what are we passing here? We're passing what? Oh, let me check what we're going to be passing there. What we actually need I think what we actually need is we need two things. I'm going to copy it and bring it out now. We need two things. We need location and description. We need location and the description. So it's an object. It's taking in an object, okay, and it takes in these two parameters. You know, these two arguments rather. So this is what we're going to be getting. So if we save now, we're perfect. So how do we get this data now? It's already in the Redux store, right? So let's go to our map screen, which is this one. So let's do something here. Let's bring in those data from Redux store. So we say const, excuse me, origin equals use selector. You know, use selector is what you use to bring data from global data layer. From you use it to bring content or data from data layer, or you say global data, global state rather. You pull it into your component. That is what you use selector for. And what are we bringing it? We are bringing select origin rather. You see, select origin. So we import that from slice, and we import this one from React Redux. So we are good now. So now if we say origin dot description now, here we're going to see that we're going to get that data back. So let's do something. Say origin dot description. So if we save it now, see what we're going to get. We say London, right? And we say London Bridge Station. Can't find variable dispatch. Thank you. So now we forgot to do this dispatch. So let's just see. So let's declare dispatch here. So const dispatch equals use dispatch. Okay. Okay, it came from React already by auto. So that is nice. So, well, do we have React Redux already? No. Okay, we are fine. So if we save now, it should be good. So if we do it again, London, can't find variable set origin, which is here. We didn't import it, so let's get it back. Let's get it from slice. So if we save now, we should be good. Let's hope that we don't have any other thing else again. So if we go to this, see London Bridge, you see. So but it's hiding down. So let's try and bring it out. So if we use save area view, you will see that we will be able to see it very well. You see, perfect, right? So if we go back and put in another location, let's say we want London, this one. If you go, you see we have it. So we are getting data back, which is perfect. Now that we have this dynamic application going on, I think we should stop here. Today we were able to cover how to set up an Expo project. We create the home screen for the Uber clone app, and we did the routing from one screen to another. You see, which is what we have here. You see, from one to another. And if I click on this now, it's going to give me error. So let's fix this error. So when we go to our nav option, so we're going to disable that button. That's what we're going to do. But the only thing we can do really is to disable that button. So this touchable opacity, let's disable. If we add disable now, if I add disabled to it now, you see, if you save it now, if I click any of the buttons, it's not going to work. Well, we don't want that. We only want to disable only this button. So we're going to say disable only if item dot id is equals to this ID. If it's equal to that ID, then disable it, because we are not working with it now. See, this one is working, but the other one is not working because we are not working with this one right now. And we have right, which is wrong. So this title should be food. So I think now we're good. I think we should stop right here. In the next video, we'll continue from where we stopped. Today we were able to show how to set up Expo projects, you know, to set up a home screen, and in the home screen we can navigate to the other screen by using React Native navigation. That is what we use here. We use React Router in React project. So and also we did Google Plays autocomplete. So I'm sure today is we've learned so much from this video. The next video is going to continue from here. Please like my video, like this video. If you see that, if you think that you gain something more substantial from this video, please like this video, and also